This week, I'm heading to the beautiful Snowy Mountains to take on my mate Tom, the freshwater king.
You might need the net for this one, Al.
What? Oh, you tin ass.
We chase the trout across the picturesque Lake Eucumbene.
This is skill. Oh yeah, take him gentle.
Don't you lose him.
And then head up to the river.
Remember, Tom, you're here for the scenery. I'm here for the fish.
To settle the score once and for all.
That is a good...
Can you just tell me, is that one bigger than your one, Al, or not?
I can't see, mate. Where is he? Nah, not bigger than mine.
Fishing is my life. It's in my DNA. From above the water and below the surface. It's who I am.
Oh, yeah.
Join me as I travel the world in search of the most insane fishing experiences on the planet.
This is not good. Croc out of nowhere comes in, smashes my barra.
Oh, yeah!
You're in for it now, buddy.
Look at the size of it.
Get in the boat, Alex, and straight to the boat. I'm Al McGlushan, and this is Fishing with Mates.
The Snowy Mountains has got to be one of the most beautiful places on Earth. I've fished here since I was a kid, and this week I'm meeting my mate Tom at Lake Eucumbene for some serious trout fishing. I've just picked up my new Mitsubishi.
So I've got to do the job of taking his boat down. But you know what? The great thing about Eucumbene, it's a beautiful drive. The Snowy Mountains is a magic bit of country. It's the top of Australia.
About time you got here.
You ready for action or what?
How you going?
Lake Eucumbene. Bloody beautiful. It's nice and warm.
Yo.
Crap for trout fishing, but
What's this new car business?
I'm late, mate. I had to get a new car to tow your boat, so it looks good. Are we fishing today or are we starting tomorrow? Start in the morning?
Yeah, I reckon. Well, I'm starting now.
I know, you already started.
The first time Tom came fishing with us, he'd never done a lot of saltwater fishing, but instantly caught a meter king. Not even a question, straight away into it, and he got it really quickly. I mean, this bloke really, really knows his fishing.
You know, any trout you caught don't count, just so we're clear on this.
Don't worry, I haven't caught any yet, mate.
We've never fished Eucumbene. Well, that's what Tom reckoned. I fished there a number of times. I'll do anything to beat this guy, especially on his home turf. I've checked the app, and tomorrow's conditions look perfect.
Trout fishing, here we go. So it's a dawn start. We've got the boat, it's already in the water. How good is this? We're cutting across the lake. First light, it's beautiful. There's a fog and mist across the back. This is why we go to places like Eucumbene. It's just so beautiful. But there's another reason. That is to kick Tom's ass and catch more trout than him. Now, Tom, we've got to set the rules, mate. This is the challenge, correct?
Yeah, righto.
So you may have caught bigger trout than me recently. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it is the most fish that wins, but also the biggest. So there's two categories, the biggest and the most.
Right, so you want to set a bit of a benchmark for size. What do you reckon we set it at?
It's just got to be bigger than yours.
We'll see, we'll see.
Because if you catch heaps of fish, you're a better fisherman, you know?
It's all about the angling skill, isn't it?
And I guarantee my Laser Pro will produce the first.
So the technique we're using is to get right into the timber, you know, those rocky edges with dead timber, flicking little lures and soft plastics right in tight against the structure, because that's where the big brown trout are. If you want rainbows, get out in the middle of the lake. So I'm running my trusty old little Laser Pro. Crawdaddy colour, I think it's a brownie thing, but it always works for trout. It's a gun lure. So I'm flicking that out in amongst the trees, twitch, twitch, bang, got him on. Yep, come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're watching now. Yeah, baby.
The rainbow.
Oh, look at it spinning. It's got to be a brown doing that. You're watching and learning?
Watching
The
him there.
first fish, and I've caught him.
Don't lose him.
I'm not going to lose him. That is the first brownie, and that is the first one to me. So I've got the first fish. Not a massive brown, but it's the first one, and I'm now winning the most and the biggest.
Yeah, all right. You got a head start, mate.
How good is that?
We'll see who catches the biggest one.
I've just hit the lead, and all I want to do is get back to fishing.
Well, seeing as you caught the first fish, don't you reckon it's time to make a coffee?
What do you mean? What does Tom do? He goes underhand. He just goes nasty. You're on coffee duty, McGlashan. Get the Yeti out and start making coffees. What, so just because I caught the fish, I now have to do the coffee as well?
Isn't that one of the rules?
I don't know if that's a rule. I think
Or
you
did I
make-
just make that up? Oh, sorry. So it was first thing in the morning. Auds caught his first fish, so I was like, bugger him. I'll give him the heave-ho off the front of the boat, and I'll just make him make a coffee for us.
I'm going to make myself 2 coffees. You can have the little one.
So he's down the back making a coffee. I've got about 20 casts in the time that he's done that. Still haven't caught a fish though, so it was a bit embarrassing. But anyway, still got a nice warm coffee in the cold morning, but
Oh, God, that's hot.
still hot.
Come here.
Now you're trying to sabotage this and burn my mouth.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to do. Tom's throwing every trick in the book at me, but it's not gonna work. He may distract me with coffee, and I do get distracted with coffee, I'll admit it. But as soon as I get up the front of the boat, what happens? I'm on again. Oh, this is skill. Are you watching?
Is he hooked well? Is he hooked well?
I don't know. I'm too nervous. I've just been snagged up, man. Ooh, look at that for a brownie. Oh, that's a nice little fish. He's only a little one. 2. Dun, 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 dun.
Rightio, we give you that one.
This boy's got no chance. No chance at all. Bring it on. Now, you know why I was using this one? It looks like a yabby. And we're fishing the yabby bank. Coming up, Tom hooks an absolute monster.
You might need the net for this one now.
What? Oh, you dinner. So one of the tricks for this style of fishing is to mix it up. So while I've got my little laser pro, my little hard body lure, Tom's running a soft plastic. But he hasn't had a fish, he hasn't had a bite, he's had nothing. And then all of a sudden, you see him cast out, flick, rod loads up.
Yeah.
And it took him a second to realise, but this was a proper fish. He's hooked up.
Got him on. He's
Wait till he winds up.
a good fish. Yeah, he's a good fish. You might need the net for this one now.
What? I
Yeah,
should be
mate.
casting.
We're in the timber, and I'm like, oh no, we're going to be in trouble here. Got these big head shakes going on. It's doing a crocodile roll, carrying on like a pork chop. Yeah, he's bigger than yours.
Oh, that's a nice fish, man.
You.
I might even get the net for you for that one.
We saw the fish come up next to the boat, and it had enough. And we just saw his big white mouth and his big head, and it was just like, wow, that's a cracker.
That is a really, really good brown. Oh, he's yours. Look at that. Oh, you dinners. I tried, and I admit it, just a little bit to knock it off with the net, but it didn't work. We got it in. A lovely, beautiful brown. That is a good...
Can you just tell me, is that one bigger than your one, Al, or not?
I can't see, mate. Where is he? Nah, not bigger than mine. I may have the numbers, but he's now got the size. Come on, smile like you enjoyed it. You just got a bigger trout than me, you mongrel.
So this is one of the ones that you want to catch, Al, not that sardine that you caught before.
sardine. What are you talking
Let's
about?
wait for this fish, mate. So I'm pretty confident now I've got the biggest fish, so I made Al take some photos, thinking that I've got this thing in the bag. Are you fitting the fish in the photo, Al? Is it?
Just let me
Is the angle wide
go down
enough
that way
for
a
you?
bit more. Yeah, that's it. Can't believe you caught a bigger one than me.
There's plenty more where these came from too, Al, I reckon.
I reckon there's a heap there. Oh, yeah. Well, they come up quite good. I don't know about you, but the fish looks all right. So, we've got a few photos of this beautiful big brown trout. This is why we came to Eucumbene, even if I didn't catch it. And just letting it go, you see it just, that big tail paddle off into the... It's just slipping down the depths. Tom turns around a big cheesy smile.
Al's got to catch up now.
This is what it's all about. This is why mates go fishing. Except I'm going to catch another fish and knock him out of the way. I need a big one now. So we keep working through the trees, and this style of fishing really is consistency. The more you cast, the more times your lure is going to get in front of a fish.
Well, we've definitely been seeing more fish on these muddy banks. I don't know about catching more, but we've definitely been seeing more.
Brown crawdad, mate. Can I just show you? See this one right here? Look at that. That puppy is guaranteed.
The big thing that we're doing was using the electric to go through the trees as you would for cod fishing or bass fishing. It's a very similar technique. We're both using different lures, trying to mix it up as best we could, so you try to figure out what they're feeding on and stuff, because trout are quite fussy, as everybody knows. They can be shut down on one thing and then you can catch a lot of fish on another thing. And so Al was mid-water, I was probably a little bit higher than him using the soft plastic. They seem to be very bank orientated though, isn't it?
I suppose it's not as... Oh, there he is. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's a nice fish. Look at him.
You're gonna drop it.
Come on.
Next thing you know, I turn around, there's Al going, yep, I'm hooked up. But what does he do? Drops it. Wow, that was a good fish.
That was a ripper. This is the important fish. I can't lose them now. That is so not fair.
That's ridiculous.
How good was that? That's like 4
or 5 pounds.
Oh.
So we just keep on working along. Al's lost that fish. I'm laughing at him, giving him a bit of grief about it and whatnot. Next thing you know, Al hooks up again.
Oh, yep.
And I'm just like shaking my head, just going, what am I doing wrong? Far out.
Look at the skill. This is it. And that initial moment with a brown trout when you hook up is the head goes down, they start powering into the depths. On my tackle, it's so exciting. It's no wonder they're such a popular fish. Oh, yeah, take him gentle.
Don't you lose him.
So we've hooked up, he's gone down. Am I going to get this fish? I need it so bad to kick Tom's ass. Coming up, I extend my lead. Look at that, that's a nice fish. Number 3. Tom trades fishing trout for koalas. I don't think you're going to beat me chasing birds and koalas, just so we're clear on that. Oh, yep.
Far out.
Look at the skill! Yeah, baby!
Again. You and that bloody laser pro.
So I get it up to the boat. It's not a monster, but at least, you know what? It's number 3. My trusty little crawdad is kicking some Thomas butt. Look at that, that's a nice fish. Look at that. Number 3!
And look, the lure just fell out of his mouth.
You shook it out.
So Al had this little laser pro and he's carrying on about it. I'd seen him catch fish on it before in photos that he'd sent me and stuff, and I was like, yeah, you know, I know it works, but is it really going to work here? But let me tell you, did it slay the fish?
Hey, those lures, I could sell them.
How much? How much are you charging now?
Special rate, $500 each. Now that I've got a solid lead behind me, I decided it was time to up the ante. So what I'm going to say, and this is because I'm such a good mate, and I think you've got Buckleys are beating me because it's 3-1, is, I noticed you're admiring the old Mitzi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's better
brand
than
new
mine.
car. Yeah, brand new car. And what I'm going to do, if you can beat me, if you can beat me, I'm going to let you drive the brand new car home. No second-hand stuff. I'm talking brand new with like 4Ks. Well, actually, a couple more than 4. But you can't drive it like you cast, all right? Just so we're clear on that.
No,
So
righto.
if you can get a few fish, you got the storm coming.
I don't need a few fish, I just need one big one.
See, that's it. You're going back to size. Size matters. It's all about numbers.
It's not about numbers, it's about quality of fish, yeah?
I'm going to get it. Do you know how the stakes just went up when I said about driving the car? You notice that? All of a sudden there's silence. Everyone's focusing.
Everyone's getting serious.
Fancy new leather seats, mate. That's what it is. Tom's not used to losing when it comes to freshwater because this bloke is a guru. I'll admit it. He is a gun at freshwater. He loves his bass. He catches big bass. He's really good at big trout. But when the pressure starts to build, you know, he starts to feel a bit, well, we start to see cracks. And I'm talking cracks not down there, up there. What are you casting for? Stars?
Koalas, mate,
Koalas.
koalas.
Yeah, koala hunting. He starts casting up into the trees, not once, not twice, but constantly. I don't think you're going to beat me chasing birds and koalas, just so we're clear on that. And Tom, he wasn't handling it too well. He thought he was going to win. He might have got the biggest, but he's got nothing on the numbers. I'm winning big time. So Tom's got his game face. You know, he could see he's really getting serious. So what's he do? Pulls up his buff. What are you doing, mate? You're hiding under a buff now. You're embarrassed.
Yeah, I just don't want the fish to see my face, mate.
Well, they're not saying anything else because you're not catching them. I reckon there's only one reason he put his buff up. Wasn't for the sun, wasn't for his game face. It's because he's embarrassed to show his face because he's been beaten by me. I never win at freshwater. This is like my time. I'm loving it. You don't want to drive the car, eh? That's what's happening. That's what it is. Hey, Mitzi, for you. So after a long day on the lake and me being up 3-1, I offered Tom a lifeline and a change of scenery. We're going to Walga Hut up in the Kosciuszko National Park, right on the banks of the famed Eucumbene River. This is the one that feeds into Lake Eucumbene, which is famous for its run of trout. This is stage 2, the riverside. And the concerning part, this is where Tom is really the guru. I'm a little bit nervous, I've got to say. Coming up, I do whatever it takes to win.
What are you doing, mate?
Trolling.
Not in a boat.
So we get down onto the Eucumbene River. It's beautiful, you know, the tussock country. And this style of fishing is really different. You're still stalking, but you're really reading the water, trying to work out where the trout is. Because if you cast wrong, you can spook the fish. So it's about looking, we're flicking away, a few fish are rising, it's looking good. This is still a competition, mate. This is it. This is the decider. All right, I'm fishing for that rock since you flogged that
I'll
water
give you
now.
a head start now.
I don't need a head start, mate. I'm already ahead.
Keep on telling yourself that. When you're fishing this skinny water there, it's a lot more like hunting. We're leapfrogging each other, so we're not spooking the fish as much, and we're polaroiding a lot more. So you're trying to focus on where the fish are rising and whatnot. You're not just doing willy-nilly casts everywhere like you are in a dam and trying to cover water. You're actually hunting the fish, and it's a lot more justifying when you get one. Like, it's amazing.
It's pretty good, though. We've gone from fishing the lake, driven an hour up to Walga Hut or whatever it's called, and we're now fishing like high country stuff. Remember, Tom, you're here for the scenery. I'm here for the fish. The conditions were good, but for some reason, the fish just weren't playing ball. Because the thing is in here, if they're going to eat it, I reckon first cast. You don't have to flog it much in these waters, do you? You know what? I reckon we fish up around this corner, and then I've got one more spot.
Secret location. Has it got more fish than this one?
Well, there's heaps of fish here. We just can't catch them. To be honest, I was a little bit disappointed in the river, you know. It looks so good, but the fishing, there's days the fish don't bite. You know, in the perfect world, you catch them every day, but in reality, there's days where it's just shut down. I cannot believe I haven't got a bite out of here. I think maybe we go and try the 3 mile. What do you reckon?
Mate, I think the fish are dead in here.
One trick I've always learnt with fishing, if one thing doesn't work, move. So, Tom, let's go back to the Mitzi. We're going to a new spot, 3 Mile Dam. This is the spot we're going to catch a fish. And it's a beautiful little dam. It's only small, but along the dam wall, it's perfect for casting. Clouds are getting a little bit black in the background, but don't worry about those. And we get in there and start casting. A few fish are rising because they've got brook trout in there as well. Thinking, this is it, this is good. And then those little black clouds, they became big black clouds. And then they opened up. I'm talking the heavens opened up on us.
What are you doing, mate?
Trolling for a fish.
Not in a boat.
I want to be back in the lake. It's raining, it's pouring, can't see. Tom, who's so desperate because he's not winning, is just casting like mad. I'm looking at him, just wet through, like a drowned rat going, game over, buddy. This is it. We're finished. You are not driving home in a Mitzi. I thought my last little spot might just work, but it's not. I reckon it's time to call it, go and get a coffee and celebrate my win. The Snowy Mountains is such a beautiful place, and Eucumbene, I've fished it since a kid. It's one of those places I love going to, and going with your mates, that is as good as it gets. But then, to go up into the high country and do those eco huts, that is an awesome plan. This is seeing Australia and seeing some of the best country in the wildest spots and catching a few trout with your mates. Well, mate, how awesome was that, eh?
Pretty unreal.
Not too bad for some. But you know what? The most important part? Even though the weather's come in a bit and, well, wrecked it, I win. I'm the winner. I am the master of the lake. And if it hadn't rained, I'd be the master of the river as well. Have a great trip home. See you later.
Remember, we've got a rematch.
Rematch, yeah. I'll think about that in my leather seat, buddy. So Tom, have an awesome trip, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Adios.